Hi, this is Thomas and Christina. Today we're going to do the first pose for level 3 of our Acroyoga lessons. This is called Paserita twist, and you want to approach this in a way where you realize this is going to be a bit of a challenge. There's going to be one move that requires getting a lot of things right, so if you just keep trying it, you might fail for like a long time, as in multiple sessions. I'm going to slow down and explain you all the things that happen, and if you have a clear understanding, you can actually go through it almost step by step. In order to get started, we're going to go into bird pose. And once we're in bird, we're going to go to folded leaf. For folded leaf, Christina's going to straddle and pike her legs and fold forward. Now I'm going to guide one hand to her opposite ankle. You can do this in either direction. And this creates kind of like a triangle shape out of her body, and she wants to keep this shape like this for almost the entire move. It makes it easy for me to have like a complete kind of like box or parcel to move around. And now that we're in this position, I want to start pointing a few things out. The goal is to move our weight to my right foot, and it's like, how do we get the weight of the left foot? And there are three main ways to accomplish this. The first way is so I'm going to tell you how most teachers are teaching it, and I don't think it's maybe the easiest one to start with. Have a close look at her position right now, how her arm is stretched to the right and her torso is twisted. If she focuses on getting her chest up to the sky and keep rotating, and I push up her shoulders, she kind of spirals her weight to the right, and this will naturally lift her weight off of my left leg. The other option is for me to put my hands under her shoulder and support her weight, and once a lot of her weight is on my hands, I just take a foot out and she won't move because her weight is on my hands. Conceptually, this is pretty easy. The problem is, because she's over my belly, my arms aren't in a very strong position, like over my shoulders. And so it requires a fair bit of strength that not everyone has, or if you have a little bit of a heavier flyer, it's not feasible. So finally, the third way that I think is the easiest thing to start with is to twist her body to the left. Consider my right foot as her pivot point, and I just kind of try to rotate her to the left. And what I can do is I can use my left knee, if it's a little bit bent, to kind of push her in that direction. Arms aren't as strong as legs. And then now we can continue. As soon as I have her weight off of my left foot, I can move my left foot to meet my right foot in kind of like a ballet position, third position, where kind of the ankles are in opposite directions. Notice my toes wiggling. I'm presenting my foot at the side of her hip so that she can move her thigh on top. And there we are in what's called straddle bad. And how do we get out of this? The easiest and perhaps messiest way is to just put my hands under her shoulders to protect her head and let her slide down my legs. It's not pretty, but it's really good to know, especially if there's a crash. This is the easiest way to just come down. So let's do it again, and this time I'm going to, in the video, pause a little bit more to show some common problems. Again, we're going to start by passing the opposite hand to the opposite ankle, we create our nice triangular parcel. And here you can see the problem is I want to get her weight on the third foot. So I can push her body up this way. And if I push her body in the right direction, her weight lifts out of my foot and the foot is free to be replaced. And here's like a slightly different alignment. It might not look extremely different in the photo, but this time I'm more under where I'm just kind of holding her weight there. I'm not like moving her off of my foot. And you can see how I push her body up to the side to get weight out of that foot. Really, as a base, you don't have to rush through this. You can experiment, like what kind of movements can you do when there's less weight. I'm going to place my foot like a ballerina, heels kind of pointing in opposite directions. I'm presenting my foot. This is a little disorienting for a flyer, and sometimes they have a hard time realizing where they have to move their thigh. Let's look at a more elegant way to come out of this position. It's actually pretty simple and surprising. So the flyer is going to want to hold onto the soles of my feet. And just for protection, I'm going to put my hands under her shoulder. And she can lift her hips out of my feet by putting the weight on her hands. And she can just kind of roll out of this. It's pretty nice. So let's go through Paserita twist again and look at some problems that flyers can have in this. And again, guide the hand to the opposite ankle. I put my hands under, and now we're going to see that Christina is going to lift her legs straight up. She's going to lose her straddle, and with her legs straight to the sky, I have nothing to really hold onto her. I just slide off of her. For some reason, even if you tell flyers beforehand not to do this, they always do it. But you still want to tell them so that if you tell them that they should stop doing it, there's a better chance that they realize what it is. And again, like this last part of where the flyer has to find the foot to put on, you can again often see them the first time just kind of searching space until they're like, oh, that's where it goes. Here's another problem that bases tend to run into. If you get the previous step correct of shifting the weight of the flyer to one foot, this is where a flyer tends to fall out. And you can think of like a sailboat. If you step on the sailboat on one side, it's going to start tilting that way. And the same thing happens if the flyer goes onto one foot, the base is going to tilt that way, and everyone's going to fall that way. So if you're going to put a flyer onto one foot, you have to be conscious and move your foot more center to counteract what's going to happen, how it's going to push you to the side. Nice, and that's Paserita twist. You can just come out of it. Be patient with yourself.